Hi guys, today's bait demo is going to be a bit of a different type of bait. It's one of those combination baits. So I'm actually going to use a mackerel combined with a chokka. And down in the Eastern Cape, the guys know the importance of the chokka guts and the chokka head. But I think up here in KZN, we don't realize the value of that head and the guts that much. And this is one of those baits where you normally throw the chokka head away, or actually incorporate it into a mackerel head bait that works very well for me. So very simple bait to make, and it just helps you to use the chokka head and guts that you normally throw away and incorporate it into a nice bait. So what we've got our chokka head and a mackerel. I'm going to take the mackerel head, cut it off as long as I need it to be, split it in half, and only use half the head with half a chokka head on this bait. Alright, so I'm going to grab my knife. I'm going to cut the chokka head off first. That's the part we normally throw away. Cut it off and keep it to one side. Right, so the rest of the chokka go back in the box and we'll use it later. And I've left a piece of the chokka skin itself on the head, just a 3-4 centimeter little piece, which we're also going to use in this bait. Alright, so we're going to grab our piece of chokka, turn around, and just cut that piece of skin off, flap it open, and put that one side. Now we're left with our head, and now what I want to do with the head is cut it exactly in half, so we're going to use half the head and only one eye. And I want to keep those tentacles on as well, because they're going to give a bit of movement to our bait. Alright, so split the head open in the middle. Keep that the other side. We'll put in the box and use later. Alright, so we're going to grab this piece of chokka that we've cut off, and I'm only going to use half of that as well. We'll put the other piece aside. Alright, so clean off this piece of chokka, take the skin off. We want a nice white piece of meat. I'm going to flip it over and take my tenderizing hammer and just tenderize that piece of chokka a bit to get the flavors to come out. Alright, so that's done. Our chokka is prepared, and now we're going to go to our mackerel and prepare that. Obviously, if you're using a dingle, just measure the length of your dingle, get the length right. This specific bait, I'm not going to put a dingle, and I'm just going to show you how we do the bait. So I'm going to cut it to the normal size, just behind the gill plates, and cut the head off. Right, I'm going to put the rest of the mackerel away. Okay guys, so what we're left with is our mackerel head, half a chokka head and a piece of chokka itself. I'm going to take this mackerel head and cut it in half as well. Right, put that head away. I'm going to grab my scissor and cut off the excess a bit on the head, like those fins there, clean it up a bit. We're ready to go. Okay, so we take our hook and we're going to put on the mackerel head first. Just hook it through the lips anyway. It's nice and firmly attached. Grab our cotton and cotton that on, because obviously you don't want the bait to come off when you cast. So I go around the mouth a few times and just around the shank of the hook. That'll help keep everything together. Right, so we put that down. The next step is to grab our chokka head. Right, so just trim this head a little bit. And the gut section I cut off here, I'm not going to throw away. I'm also going to add that to the bait. Just more flavor. So we add those guts on there, cotton it on, Alright, so I'm going to take this eye and place it on our mackerel head. The feeler's hanging down, and I'm going to cotton the eye on. So as you can already see, there's a lot of flavor in this bait, and it's going to attract fish from a long way. Right, so after we've attached the eye like that, I want to grab this other piece of chokka we cut off, and I'm just going to shape it a little bit in the shape of the head so it fits nicely on my head. So we have to do a little triangular piece, and we're going to put it onto our bait like that. I don't like covering the eye, I actually want that eye of the chokka open. I'm just going to put it on like that and then cotton that on. Alright, and once again I'm going to take a few winds over the shank of the hook. I don't want this to fall off when I cast, when it's flying through the air, and then finish off with our features. There we go. That's our chokka mackerel head combo bait. A lot of flavor, a lot of juices coming out of here, and it's actually not the ugliest bait in the world either. So it's got the looks, it's got the flavor, and these little tentacles will give a bit of vibration in the water to also help attract the fish. It's a very nice little bait that'll work from anything from your rays, your sharks, to even edible fish that's around will eat this.